We are live. Welcome to my thoughts on Arrow Season 1, Episode 21, The Undertaking. The episode is rated TV-14, so with this video there will be spoilers for the episode and all the ones leading up to it. And another episode I love. Holy crap. Yeah, oh, did I mention... I forget if I mentioned. It's rated TV-14, so with this video let's see. So, I really appreciate getting the details on the Undertaking, and it's clearly underway. The episode ends with the truck pulling in. Good detail that, it says Starling City, home of the Rockets, which, we were told in an earlier episode, and it might also be in the comic, but, I forget if it was a sports team maybe, or something, but Sarah disappeared with a cap with Rockets, that name on it, because sports team or college or something. Thinking sports team anyway. And apparently it was Frank who dealt with the bomb to sabotage the Queen's Gambit. Holy crap. And let's see, the rescuing of Walter. I think that does pretty well cover, and it looks like Dig might be back on Team Arrow. I think that is it for the general stuff. So let's get into the chronological. So oh boy, this show really, really excels at these cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon supervillains. Guy's sitting there with all the, fat stacks, and he's like, I can't wait to get to the Caymans. Yeah, the audience can't wait for you to not get to go to the Caymans, though. And very clever bit of misdirection. Okay. You can only the guy says you can only unlock that elevator with, or you need a key to operate that elevator. So Oliver got the key, presumably having to take someone out in order to get to do so, unlocked it, sent it to the floor that Mr. Cayman was on, and then was like in the the roof, not roof, ceiling, above. Yeah, wow. And yeah, the very clever the thing about what's the word? Huh. What's that? Hold on, not just. Oh, okay, that's what that is. Anyway, the thing about you don't scare me as much as who I'm doing this for. Then I'll leave them to deal with you. Very clever, because like he didn't actually need him to say anything, Yeah, he just needed the laptop. And yeah, also when Oliver talks about the crimes, holy crap. Yeah, this guy, oh boy. Bad, very, very bad person. Yeah, and so he gets the laptop to Felicity, and she's like, it's gonna take days. Very nice bit of what's the word? Yeah, like we were. Oh, I guess it is possible that they'll manage to get through. If she's still working on it just from curiosity, maybe that'll help them against the Undertaking. Because all the money. Because there's the thing about how, he bought a third of the Glades, and then Frank and Robert tried to buy the rest. Yeah. I think... Does that pretty well get us to the... What's the other thing there was with that? Um, but yeah, the I guess the next thing. Huh. Okay, I am definitely not remembering the order right, but the okay, let's go with so Laurel, you know, at the bar. Oliver, I don't think now's the time. Although I guess he didn't really know. Like he knew that Tommy was, upset about, you know, Laurel being in love with the vigilante, but Oliver didn't know that Tommy actually broke up with Laurel. Yeah, not the best time to make a joke, even if it is a reference. Yeah, I still need to watch that movie. I've heard such good things for so many years. Um, yeah, it's actually a really funny coincidence. My dad and I are watching The Maltese Falcon right now, which also has stars Bogey. Um, anyway, the let's see. Ah, actually, now that I think about it, is that from that? Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. I feel like that's a Bogey line at least. Anyway, but yeah, and she's like, "Your coffee is terrible," and he's like, "It's bar coffee though. The bar is very low for bar coffee." And it took a lot of work, but we managed to go below that bar. And yeah, she tells him Tommy broke up, and there's that thing about. I think it is Oliver who says, maybe Tommy just got cold feet because he couldn't find his socks. I don't know. And yeah, there's a line about you gotta talk to him and tell him the truth. And Felicity. So this is one of the worst ways that Felicity could have met Laurel. Um, so obviously the it is credible that she is just working there. Although they're only just now having internet set up after they had the grand opening. Not the most credible lie. I guess she's yeah, still bad lies from Team Arrow when they're trying to cover. But yeah, he came from the back. Felicity comes in from the back, like, and then she's like, "Oh, you must be Laurel, gorgeous Laurel." So not only does Laurel not know who she is, and she's coming in from the back room where Oliver just was, and he emerges in a very good mood, playful mood. She knows who Laurel is. Like, these are a lot of very unfortunate, yeah, it's like, so you're sleeping with her even though it hasn't been that long since McKenna, and you told her about me? Like, this is, holy crap. But yeah, it is understandable that she's like, you gotta, you know it's the you better come take a look at this cliche. um I think, yeah, let's go with so yeah, she tells him about the yeah, looking at the transfers and the date. Clearly, this guy was paid off for taking Walter, having that arranged at least, and they find the place and everything, or they know about the place. And the thing, so I guess someone's going gambling tonight. Felicity, I can't go get. No, I meant me. And she does make a good case, she can count cards. And yeah, this was the entire reason that she joined him in the first place. She's helped out with other stuff, but this was why she was there, to get Walter back. Which also, I wonder if that means that she's not going to be part of. Well, let's see. I mean, she was still there when. Let's see. Ah, that was when. Oh no, yeah. I guess the last time we saw her in the lair was when she was helping him find the place that Walter was at. So yeah, I don't know if she still. All right. I also really like the line about how many arrows did you stick in him to get this? Please say a lot. And I think that right. And they talk about this place is, there's a lot of guards there. Maybe we should get Dig back. And I really appreciate that this episode starts to deal with. And yeah, it was genuinely, that was what they were building towards, setting up Oliver, for all his character growth on and off island. He is still not good at apologizing and admitting when he's wrong. And yeah, uh, let's see. So Laurel goes to talk to Tommy, and yeah, that line. Wow, you really do look like your father. I wonder if that was meant to have the same sting as that other time that. I guess I can't say exactly when. I'll just say it was a fairly recent movie that somebody else said those exact words. Um, yeah, I think. And yeah, he tells her the Oliver is still in love with you, which, I mean, that is essentially as much of the truth as he can tell. So, yeah. But yeah, it's just got a bad feeling, man, that he's gonna take over. Yeah. That Malcolm's guiding him down the wrong path. Let's see. We also have the yeah, Felicity goes to Dig, and I like the detail that both times he looks through the peephole, and both times he's like, "Wow." And yeah, of course she's trying to get the. She's like, "We're putting the band back together," and yeah, he points out if Oliver can apologize to me, and he knows where I live, so. And then later said, "Wow, you really do know where I live." Let's see. I think I am saving the flashbacks for last. Yeah. The actual, her going into the casino, very nicely done. Um, her clapping and going, "Yay!" So adorable. And yeah, the thing with Miss, can we have a word? Now, well, since you asked so nicely. That was also a spectacular, that is, it's not the first, but it is the worst time she put her foot in her mouth. Like, it went all the way in there this time when she said, "It's nice to have you inside of me." And by me, I mean my ear. And by you, I mean your voice. I'm going to stop talking now. And then he's also like, that would be my preference. Right? Also, like the password, Snapdragon. It would be really funny if, like, she goes up and says the password and then they're like, what? No, that's the password for the other person. Did the passwords for here are personalized? But yeah, she does indeed just get the friendly warning, and she manages to put the bug on, which also very nicely done. Was not expecting that to. That also ends up not, at least not by the end of this episode, changing anything. They get the information directly from him. And yeah, the thing with 86, I actually do know that it's a casino. Not this one, but it's a. Okay. Well, now it means it's just he's like stunned, like wasn't expecting a history lesson. And she takes a few steps away and she's thank you. And he's like, one more thing, frickin' Columbo here, and yeah, scan for bugs because yeah, and that is like very nicely done because that's true. That's the kind of thing that a lot of a lot of people who do cheat in casinos, they have a partner that's like communicating with them in some way. So yeah, when they catch someone doing something like that, they will sweep for bugs. And unfortunately for them, as soon as that bug gets crunched on the ground, yeah, obviously Oliver's gonna come in, and she's like, "You're not gonna like meeting my partner." Just yeah. Um. And yeah, very cool. Him fighting his way in there, and they get the information, and it's the classic thing of I heard the sound that it would make, that the method of their death would make. You didn't see a body. You assumed. Yeah, the very nicely done with he goes to his mom and his sister, and like the more mother-daughter bonding. She's teaching her how to shop for clothes online. She's like, oh, it's not even work like this, and yeah, he I was wondering how he was going to explain how he knows that, but he claims, oh, one of Diggs FBI, and yeah, the fact that Moira, they realize this, that's a weird reaction for her to have, and yeah, um, thankfully Oliver follows her, and although for him it's mixed blessing because he learned some things he didn't want to learn, but yeah, she confronts Malcolm, and I do like the fact that he does actually prove it. But also she, there's the thing about I'm a man of my word. But she notes, we both know that's not true. And yeah, he makes the call, and she sees, clear evidence, and yeah, the I really appreciate we don't even see, because we don't need to see the actual, yeah, Oliver like following or firing the arrow or any of that. We just see that the arrow is there, and then we see him listening in, because that's all we need. And yeah, thankfully it does lead to, it's obviously emotionally devastating. Like, Felicity comes in, turns on the power, and he's like on the floor still in costume. Like, it's not the first time she's seen him brood, but even like this is the broodiest brood that this broody guy has ever brooded. Holy crap. Um and yeah, he says Walter is alive, and we can find him. I'll get him. And the thing about, okay, there's several guards up there. The only way in seems to be from above. And there's no roof for you to jump from. I guess she watched that episode or the previously on as well. And so the plane he jumps from, who's flying that thing? Or is it like remote control? They didn't really have self-flying back then, but I get, okay, it's comic book property. Maybe that's the idea. He somehow has a self-flying, but yeah, seeing him in a parachute was really cool. He pulls a Rob Liefeld and crotch attacks that one guy, and yeah, the hallway scene. Holy crap! I think the Daredevil Netflix show has some competition there. Holy crap! Yeah, really, really cool. All the arrows being fired and punches thrown. There's one time where he like ducks and two people kick from opposite sides of him at the same time. Just really, really cool. And yeah, he doesn't reveal to Walter who he is, and because of the lighting and the voice modulator, it's, yeah, he manages to what's the word? He is not. Yeah, Walter doesn't realize who he is, and yeah, they actually managed to get him back, and I can't help but think that both Malcolm is gonna know. He's gonna have guesses at least to who, how this, you know happened, how Walter was freed, and perhaps continued concerns about if Walter is gonna further investigate, or reveal what he's found out. Although I guess at this point, with the Undertaking taking under, it might not make a difference, but I don't know how vindictive Malcolm might be, nevertheless. But yeah, and they're all hugging and they're so happy, and then Felicity comes in. Ooh, this is a family moment, isn't it? She's, yeah, always so adorable, and the thing about, who are you, and the thing with, I'm a friend of Oliver, and then Walter says, and a friend of mine. I'll let you get back to the hug session. Yeah, the and right, and Walter, sorry, Oliver runs into Laurel, and they talk, and he makes clear he is still in love with her. The thing about, I can't have more lies. Right, and I appreciate he also admits then he goes to dig and admits, not only, you were right about Deadshot, about everything. My mom is actually involved with Malcolm, just like you said. And let's see, I think that pretty well covers. But yeah, like, it was a really, really great action climax to have, the hallway fight. I guess that does I think that covers everything that isn't flashback. So let's talk flashback. Um, yeah, it was cool to, as IMDb trivia notes, this was the first episode to have flashbacks that go back further than, yeah, when they're already on the Queen's Gambit, and it is like moments away from the, yeah, it's it being destroyed and them barely surviving, and some of them very much not surviving. Um, yeah, it was very cool to see them make the decision on the Undertaking, and yeah, we find out like before the planning of the Undertaking, they were actually trying to, make things better, one, thing at a time. And at one point, Malcolm even says the line, "We already know one man can't change, this can't do this on their own." And then, back to the present where Oliver is very much trying to do that. Yeah, the talk about, and also the line, we're what was it? We're using a tablespoon on the Atlantic, and yeah, everyone in this room has lost something to the Glades, and yeah, he describes the machine, and yeah, years later, it's ready, and on its way to Starling City. Let's see. I think that more or less. I guess that does bring us to. Yeah. Let's see. We have the. Yes. There's the bit where Robert and Moira are talking, and then Oliver walks up and is like, hey, do you have any cash? Jerk pizza guy can't break 100, which, like, yeah, that's how Oliver was back then, like, as if it's the pizza guy's fault that, like, yeah, he can't break 100, and just, yeah, um, that would be quite the tip if he said keep the change. Um, let's see. I guess I'll briefly note. Yeah, if you are, if anyone watching this video needs to hear it, tip people that live off tips, because it's what they live off. Yeah, and Oliver doesn't even ask. He just takes the wine. I think it's wine, the bottle afterwards, and talking to Laurel, and there's the thing about, so some people we know moved in with each other. We've been dating for longer. Hint, hint. And yeah, Oliver just gets cold feet, and she notes that in the present. You must have gotten cold feet. That's the only reason you would have slept with Sarah. Let's see. I think. Let's see. What was the other thing? And we even see them leave, and yeah, just holy crap. Moira was trying to talk Robert out of leaving, and then can't talk Oliver out of going with. Just, yeah, no, yeah, she hated that boat before it killed her husband and took her son away for 5 years. So, yeah. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe forget the bomb. Maybe the boat was like, well, fine, if you don't want me, I'll leave to the bottom of the ocean. Right. Okay, I'm sorry. When Malcolm says the words, I know I don't look like it, Moira, but sometimes my conviction falters. And because of your continued support, I always I always regain it. He either knows or he doesn't realize how much what he's saying is like holy crap, that is twisting the knife. But yeah, comic book media, lots of lines like that. And, I wouldn't be watching this stuff if I ever didn't love it. I think, yeah, Laurel shows up to say goodbye to him, so he calls Sarah and says, hey, circle the block a couple of times, will you? Claiming that it's Tommy that he's calling. Yeah, just, they were so in love. Right, I guess I'll just briefly note. So I watched there was only one deleted scene for the episode before this one. And it was Thea and Roy making out. And then he gets like an alert on his phone and checks it. And then she checks because she, yeah, to see. And turns out it's an alert for the vigilante. So someone working on the episode thought that it was necessary to have two scenes like that. That I don't blame them for ditching one of them. Yeah, I hope the actors at least like really enjoyed making out with each other for multiple scenes for one episode. I mean, I'm not complaining. I think make out scenes are can be quite good. Let's see. I think the does that bring us to? Oh wait, no. Thinking about it, I guess they weren't making out. They were eating in the other scene in the episode. So maybe that's what it was. Someone was like, need more tongue action. Yeah, when Robert talks to Moira, and her first guess is that he's cheating, and she doesn't want to know the other woman's name. Just like, yeah, I'm really glad that he did tell her the truth rather than let her think that, because like you can understand if he was like, holy crap, that's what she thinks of me. What was the other thing I wanted to say? There was, yeah, the thing about, he wants to level the glades. And how is he going to evacuate that many people? He's not. And, she points out, you can't make up for the death of that one guy by working with Malcolm to kill hundreds, thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands, but he can make up for it by hold on, what's the other thing? By helping prevent it. And yeah, he talked to Frank. Unfortunately, Frank apparently went directly to Malcolm. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And after that, yeah, Frank, felt bad, so he, helped Moira, and then Moira ratted him out, like, and that is like, it's soap opera-y, but there is a lot of betrayal backstabbing in organized crime. People have second thoughts, or get caught for something else, and the police say, "Hey, we'll lower your sentence if you help us with this thing." So, right. I also quite the thing about your mom busted me yesterday, and we can't exactly do this at my house. Is that because the last time I closed your bedroom door, your dad said he'd taser me? See, it's one of those things where it's funny to hear him say that, but I kind of also want to see because like I mean I can see it and hear it, just in my head, like 100%. Yeah, that is yeah. Let's see. I think what was the other thing? Hmm. I feel like there was at least one other thing that the yeah. Let's see. We have the holy crap. Malcolm talking about so the first time she called, I was annoyed because she knew I was busy, so I didn't take the call. And then when she called a minute later, I turned off the phone. And then later, the police came by and told him she was shot. And then he listened to the messages and heard her die whilst calling his name and begging for help over and over until the love he felt was nothing but poison in his veins. And, yeah, because of that, he felt that, Gotham is overripe with corruption and it must be cleansed.